What if everything you thought you knew about Joseph Smith and polygamy was wrong? Imagine a document from the heart of early Mormonism signed by the church's top leaders, including Joseph's own wife, Emma, that flat out rejects plural marriage. Today, we're diving into a primary source that challenges the official narrative and shows how Joseph and Emma Smith stood firmly against polygamy. Stick around, this could change how you see LDS history. Let's set the stage. It's 1842 in Nauvoo, Illinois. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is growing, but so are the rumors. Whispers of something called spiritual wifery, an early form of polygamy, are spreading, thanks to men like Dr. John C. Bennett. These outsiders are accusing the church of secret marriages and fornication. Joseph Smith, the prophet and founder, is publicly teaching that marriage is strictly between one man and one woman. To combat these slanderous claims, the church publishes a powerful statement in their official newspaper, The Times and Seasons, on October 1st, 1842. This isn't just any article, it's an excerpt straight from the Book of Doctrine and Covenants, the church's own scripture at the time. And here's where it gets fascinating. This document explicitly denounces polygamy and affirms monogamy as the only acceptable practice. Let me read you a key part. Inasmuch as this Church of Christ has been reproached with the crime of fornication and polygamy, we declare that we believe that one man should have one wife and one woman but one husband, except in case of death, when either is at liberty to marry again. Right there, in black and white, the Church rejects polygamy outright. It goes on to describe marriage as a sacred public ceremony solemnized by church authorities with vows of mutual fidelity, keeping yourselves holy for each other and from all others during your lives. No room for multiple spouses here. This is the church's official stance in 1842, and it's crystal clear. Now, who endorsed this? That's the real kicker, and it exposes the elephant in the room. Leading the women's side was Emma Smith, Joseph's wife and president of the Relief Society. She, along with Elizabeth Ann Whitney, Eliza R. Snow, and other prominent women, signed a declaration stating they knew of no system of marriage being practiced in the church, save the one contained in the Book of Doctrine and Covenants. They directly condemned Bennett's secret wife system as pure fabrication. Emma, who shared Joseph's life intimately, publicly affirmed no such practices existed. If Joseph had been secretly teaching or living polygamy, as later official narratives claim, her signature here would be inexplicable, unless she was truly unaware and the denials were genuine efforts to stamp out rumors and unauthorized behavior. The men's certificates tell a similar story, but with a darker twist. Signers included Joseph's brother Hiram, who vocally opposed what he called the spiritual wifery abomination. Yet, among them were future leaders like John Taylor and Wilford Woodruff, and crucially, Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball, men who would later aggressively teach and practice plural marriage after Joseph's 1844 death. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Historical evidence from journals, mission accounts, and later conflicting testimonies point to these very men engaging in secretive spiritual wifery, intimate unauthorized relationships often masked as spiritual ordinances like foot washing during their 1830s and early 1840s missions, particularly in England. Accounts from the mission in England under Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball describe a choice band or secret circle promoting exclusive new companion relations, excessive familiarity between brethren and sisters, erased journal entries hinting at hidden intimacies, and practices echoing earlier groups like the Cochranites. These activities predated any claimed revelation to Joseph and occurred far from Nauvoo, away from his oversight. By 1842, as Joseph and Hiram worked to root out this abominable practice, excommunicating offenders like Hiram Brown for preaching polygamy and their public denouncements, Brigham Young and his associates appear to have used their high positions to conceal their own involvement. They signed denials while allegedly continuing or covering secret behaviors, perhaps viewing public monogamy statements as necessary protection amid growing rumors from the critics like Bennett. This secrecy from Joseph, Hiram, and especially Emma, who remained fiercely opposed, suggests the 1842 statements weren't a facade for Joseph's hidden practice, but rather a unified front, at least publicly, against all forms of polygamy that some signers were privately dabbling in or tolerating. This primary source from the Joseph Smith papers reveals not a church unified under Joseph's secret polygamy, but one where Joseph and Emma fought to preserve monogamy while certain ambitious leaders may have been building parallel, hidden practices that exploded openly after his martyrdom. It challenges the idea that Joseph originated plural marriage and points instead to a later shift under Brigham Young and others. In wrapping up, this 1842 statement from the Times and Season stands as powerful evidence that Joseph and Emma Smith, along with many early leaders, rejected polygamy in favor of monogamous marriage while raising serious questions about hidden activities by others who later embraced it. It's a reminder that history is full of layers. Dig deeper, and you might uncover truths that reshape everything. If this sparked your interest, hit that like button, subscribe for more dives into religious history, and drop a comment. What do you think about this document and the secrecy angle? For the full article and more on this topic, head over to my Substack at humblinmybrain.substack.com. There, you'll find in-depth pieces on LDS history, primary sources, and beyond. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.